Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour, and this is going to be our Thanksgiving episode, even though it will be released after Thanksgiving, but it's our Thanksgiving episode. And as you can see, we are in a location for the first time in a while. But Ben, where can they find us? Tell us what's got going on.
You can find us at Central PA Pour on all social media, wherever you get your podcasts and all of our social media. You can find our link tree. On there, you'll find all the social stuff, and you will find a couple guest forms, one for our live show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and one for our full-length interview episodes. So again, at Central PA Pour on all social media. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've recently hit 100 subscribers, so we are trying to push that as much as we can.
All right, yeah. So, and as Ben said, we do have a live weekly, and he's been taking charge of that, and he is sitting here for the first time in a while on our broadcast, and we do have a full house. So Kevin and Dave sitting here with us. What's up, guys?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
All right.
Good.
Yeah. You've been traveling a lot.
I have been traveling.
Yeah.
In the States and Germany and good old time.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mr. Dave.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm here.
What is, yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
What?
It's good to see Ben sitting over there.
Howdy.
I missed you.
Been a while, buddy.
Yeah. It's been a while. I did. Been a while. But I missed you. I really did.
I missed you too, Dave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good to see you.
It's
Good to see you.
And, hey, it's the first time in here. I like this. It's kind of nice. This
Yeah,
place. It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
So we're going to get to where we are at with our special guest, and he was actually our first guest. We've mentioned him several times, and we said we're going to come back out here, and we were going to do an episode in-house. So, gentlemen, welcome to the Central PA Pour. So tell us where we're sitting.
Hey, it's good to be here with you guys again. This is really good. Brett,
Yeah.
Ben, Kevin, and Dave, welcome to Stony Run Brewhouse.
Stony Run Brewhouse.
We're at 3605 East Market Street, between the First Post and Marino's, right next to White Rose Federal Credit Union.
So if you break the bank buying beer, they can go right next door.
Absolutely. You can hit the ATM.
And who's the gentleman sitting there to your right? Looks like a deer in a headlight.
I'm Colton, the assistant brewer and the GM, because it sounds cooler.
Sounds cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Assistant brewer and the general manager. So that does sound pretty cool, Colton. That goes along. So as far as brewing, tell us how you got into this, Tim, and Colton too.
Well, I always had a desire to brew for quite a while and never really acted on it. I mean, I visited home brew shops, checked it out. You know, I thought this would be pretty cool. And finally, a couple guys from work got into it, and we talked about it. I said, yeah, let's start a garage brewing. So we did, and that was probably 12 years ago, and here we are.
Yeah, here you are. And we also are next door is Bailey's Home Brew and Wine Supplies.
Yes, Bailey's Home Brew and Wine Supplies. We have all you need for all grain kits, wine kits, everything you need.
And
Yeast,
beer kits, because that's where I come.
and beer kits, absolutely.
Got a guy coming your way pretty soon. I just moved in to a new house over the summer, and then a coworker of mine moved in relatively close by. He's a home brewer, just moved in from the western part of the state, and he's looking for a supply shop. So
Okay, great. Yeah, tell him to come see us.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to help him out.
So as far as Stony Run, you purchased this from, was it the original owner, was it Bob?
Bob Elminger.
Right.
He was the original owner of Bailey's, and he moved it into this building with the intention of opening up a brew pub. So we had plenty of space here, and him and I were partners for 6 years. We started in 2015, and it took 3 years to actually get to open up. So we didn't open up until September of 2018.
So it's fairly new.
Fairly new, yeah, just over 4 years open.
So I think I saw on the website the uniqueness of Stony Run name. Where did that come from?
Stony Run is actually the name for the creek. It's right behind the building. It begins in Rocky Ridge Park. That's actually the headwaters of Stony Run.
Oh,
Comes
cool.
right down behind the building, runs out by First Post. It used to generate grain mill that was back here. A lot of history in the area. So with Rocky Ridge Park, that's one of our beers, Rocky Ridge Amber Ale.
Yep.
Had that. It's pretty good.
yeah, we just kind of try to capture the history of the area with the name.
That's
It's
cool.
called Stony Brook. I don't know where they got Stony Brook when it's called, the actual creek is called Stony Run. So we're going to try to reverse that.
Okay.
Now, Tim, do you get the water for your beer out of Stony Run? No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just thought of
Actually, yes.
that would be a cool break. That would be kind of nice to see that. You get the Stony Run beer, from the Stony Run
Stony
Creek.
Run Creek. No,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't work
Yeah.
too well. But it is close by. It's probably less than 100 yards behind the building.
That's
so it's-
that's pretty cool. And I did notice when I first started coming out here, your beers were named after
Yeah.
a lot of
Yes.
local stuff.
Yes. Camp Security, Shoe House. We had a Shoe House Saison, Rocky Ridge. We do Helen's Happy's actually from a person that my wife works with. So, we try to bring in local history, local businesses. Talus, one of the beers we're going to try tonight, there's actually two reasons for the name. One is my wife works at Talus Salon, and we're actually using Talus hops. So,
Oh yeah. I think the first time we had that was down there at Winding Pass. Their Talus Brew. They use that Talus hop too.
Yeah.
So Colton, how did you get here? Walk, drove.
So I would say, as far as getting into brewing, freshman year of college, I was at York College, and I was a fine art major. And, as an artist, you really don't know what to do with your life. You don't know what the fuck you're going to do. You don't.
No.
You really don't.
Hey, can art. You can do the can art.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it originated. What could I do to bring art into industry? And beer was one of them. And luckily, I went to school with a couple good friends I swam with. Their father homebrewed. And so I talked to him. One thing led to another. He taught me how to brew. And then ever since then, just started brewing. And then junior year came by, and I always shopped at Bailey's. And then junior year, just got done junior year in college. And met up with Bob and started working at the homebrew shop that summer. Met up with Tim. And at that point, they were in the later stages of Stony Run. One thing led to another, and I got my foot in the door, graduated college, and started helping out Tim brewing. So,
That's cool.
yep.
It's a good story.
And I will say it's been a pleasure to have him. He's really done a great job, fantastic job with a lot of the beers. He does a great job as general manager, just kind of willing to just step in wherever we need him. So I definitely wears a lot of hats like everybody here, and
Right.
we appreciate Colton.
That's pretty. I know some of our previous guests, Jason from Gift Tours and stuff. I mean, Colton's name gets thrown out a lot. I guess there's a camaraderie you guys all have here in York. And
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about it.
Yeah.
Because, Jared with Collusion, Rick from Mexitali, Jason, I mean, guys that are starting breweries, it's a camaraderie,
Yeah.
definitely. And we help each other out. And, if somebody needs something, we definitely, if I have something that somebody needs, be more than happy to get it to them. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a cool industry to be a part of.
yeah, and I'm glad we said we promised to come out here and do this, and I'm glad we finally were able to get this set up that we could be in Stony Run because it's cool. Yeah. This is a nice, friendly, warming atmosphere.
Our motto is enter as strangers, leave as friends. So we try to, I'm glad you say that because that's really what we try to convey here.
Yeah, and we were just looking about the stuff up on the top, and hopefully Dave can get some pictures and we can put those out there as well because it's some unique items sitting up top.
It is.
Kevin and I have been out here several times. The food, we were hoping your chef would be on with us. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the menu here. Has he been with you guys for a long time?
I'll let Colton talk about that.
Brandon, our chef, he came on board, I'd say, May of 2021. We were looking for a chef at the time. We just lost our other chef. So he came on board, and he kind of just slowly changed things as time went on. But I started working with him as soon as he came on board. And before him, we've always integrated beer in the food because it adds unique flavor, and it's just unique. Not a lot of people are doing it. And you got a bunch of people like, seriously, you could do that? It's just things like, for instance, our pork, that brown ale that we have. We let that pork marinate in that brown ale. It breaks it down, makes it tender, and then we smoke it. Stuff like
Smoker's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Too.
I will say I had that pork because you were out of the chicken and waffles that you recommended.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
But the pork was amazing.
Yeah, it's a staple. We can't menu. We run out. We'll get mad, like usual. But what me and him are trying to do is look at food as what's going to sell. And so how Stony Run's set up is our food is it's 60-40 split. So we do sell more food than we do beer. So in order to make up for that 20%, or I guess, I don't know, 10%, whatever, incorporate the beer in the food. That way we're still moving more product.
Right.
It helps move it. I have a job. I can continue brewing. But it adds more unique touch. And so we're trying to find a way to incorporate as much beer as we can while not having all the food just all beer. Mm-hmm. Not all the food has all beer in it, But Brandon's style cooking is kind of like my brewing, and we'll touch base on that. It's just we really don't know what we're doing. At the end of the day, we don't know what we're doing, but it's turning out. It must be good because it's working.
I'd say.
So
trial by fire.
He goes into things just he's never made it, but he just says, "Fuck it, here we go," and so he makes it. It turns out well, and he's been cooking in the industry for 20 years. He's been all over the place. So more than likely, if you ask him if he's ever made that before, he'll probably no, but he makes it. It's just one of those things where it's kind of like those chefs that go to school, and then there's chefs that don't. We're the ones that never went to school, but it works.
What was your biggest challenge starting in at the homebrew shop, and now you're a big fancy general manager, as you stated?
We We said we'd poke that bear.
Yeah.
A little bit of self-reflection. Go ahead. Take your time.
I like talking to people. I despise people sometimes. And like, don't get me wrong, I like talking about beer. I like talking about the place. I love it. But then you got the ones where you just want to throw a shoe at them like George Bush. You just want to, because they're just so like, not inconsiderate, but they think that the world is around them. It's fine, you know. You come in, they expect to be catered to. I get it, restaurant. But it's just stuff like that I can't handle, all those negative emotions. That's the one thing I don't like. At the end of the day, I rather just brew and then see ya, be gone. But there is a lot of perks to being a manager. You get to talk to more people. Puts me out of my comfort zone. But no, I rather brew and just, you know, go home. Brewing's fun, but it's just a lot of things going on as a manager. Yeah, you got to manage so many things. It's not easy.
It isn't easy.
It really is.
It's not easy being a business owner either.
That is absolutely correct. And the people aspect of it, no expectations. You know, that's the way I face it. You know, you don't have any expectations from people, they don't disappoint you. People are going to be people, no matter where you go, what industry you're in. And the thing of it is, at the end of the day, you have to just not let them affect, not rent-free in your head, you know, just, okay, yep. It's easier said than done, right? Easier said than done.
Do you guys compete against each other? You pick something and try to see who can do better? Or?
I never really felt that way.
No.
We kind of collaborate. You know, he does fantastic on. You know, he's done the sours.
Yeah.
Does a fantastic job on that. You know, I've done some of the more basic styles, but we collaborate. We work together on it. You know, I don't think there's any competition. I just know I'm the better brewer.
I was waiting for that.
So what do we have first up today here?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's the Talus 40 volume blonde. Now, it is a very, very different recipe from the OG one. I think when we had it, it was popular, and then I guess something just happened, it fell off. So we reworked it, and we used Talus hops. And then what I did was, to fancy it up a little bit, I lagered it. So it's a blonde ale. It really is. It's just lagered, and it's got lager yeast in it. So it's more crisp, it's clearer, easy to drink. I'd say it's probably one of our best beers.
Cheers to the Talus 40
Volume blonde.
Volume Blonde. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's really good. So you lagered this, Colton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the last time I had a Talus, it was an IPA, more like a hazy. This is damn good. I could be drinking this a lot.
Very smooth.
Can I get a refill? Ben needs a refill already.
That's why you do it on location. The taps are here.
Yeah. I tell you what,
Turned out really well.
that is really good. I can see why that is a one of your top sellers right now.
Mm-hmm.
I get the malty sweetness out of that, like from I guess the lagering process of that. It mellows it, I think.
Yeah, definitely brings out all the malt. You don't get any of the off flavors.
No.
The lagering kind of knocks
Yeah.
all that out. So definitely a good call on that.
What made you thought just something different?
Like,
I don't know.
Never did it before.
I'm being serious. I really don't know. I just thought, like, all right, how can I make this beer better? and I wanted to lager it, only because we only have like one lager on, and I know right now lagers are big hits right now. So I thought like, if the recipe's good, how can I make it
Better.
So it's always the little things in beers that take and push it.
Well, I can say kudos. You knocked this one out of the park.
Appreciate it.
Very good.
Tim, you better step your game up. I'm just messing with you.
No worries. Hey, it's absolutely, yeah, it's teamwork.
Yeah.
It's a camaraderie. I don't know everything. I'll be the first to tell you that. I'm kind of that way too. I'm just getting into it. I'm learning. I'm trying to absorb. And I'll be honest. There's times when I've been doing a beer, it's like, why not? Let's throw these hops in here. Or I just did a beer the other day, the new hazy that we'll talk about. Never put hops in the mash. Put hops in the mash. There's hops coming out the ears of this beer. There's hops everywhere. So yeah,
It's kind of like when Kevin and I did that Saison. I think I called you with that lemongrass. Where the hell do I put this in at? Because I was trying something different.
right.
Came out good.
It did. It came out. I think I left it in the bucket for a little too long. I actually forgot about it. And because my dad had passed away. So it sat in that primary fermenter for like 3.5 weeks. So it's not straw colored. I didn't fuck it up. It still tasted pretty good.
Yeah, as long as it tastes good.
It tasted pretty good.
Yep.
I called you about that coal. Oh shit, Tim! It got 90-some degrees. What do I do?
Oops.
And you said it ain't a coal shit. It's not.
Did you? Do you provide this in a crowler?
We don't have a crowler machine,
I
but
see.
we fill growlers.
You fill a growler.
I'll fill a growler. Yep. I'll fill
Okay.
a growler with
This
that.
is one. I'm really not sure about this. I should have another glass or two.
You need a second taste there, Dave.
Actually, yeah, it's pretty damn good.
And that's the one nice thing about it. That's that's people are sitting.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 beers. It's
Yeah.
That's
You got it.
where it's about.
that's fantastic there.
Guys, I saw something on your social media recently about change of hours, change of days. What's the business decision behind that?
Sundays have been a little slow. Right now, over the summer, it's historically slow. So things have been really picking up through the colder weather, the shorter days. We don't compete with football. We're not really a sports bar. So Sundays have been hit or miss, and mostly miss. So we're going to close on Sundays. Right now, we're closed Monday and Tuesday. But we're going to close on Sunday and Monday, open up Tuesday, and then we're going to bring back trivia and taco night, taco Tuesday, trivia Tuesday, because that was always popular. So we're just going to shut down Sunday and bring back Tuesday.
And I'd mentioned the chicken and waffles. You got something you do? Is that Wednesdays?
Yes. Let Colton talk about that.
Yep. So we are trying to figure things out for the week. Like on Thursdays, we do wing night, 75 cents. And sometimes we get slammed.
Been really popular.
Yep.
That's what you want,
Yeah, it is.
especially with wings. Now they're going to be drinking more of this.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have people order like 30 wings at a time.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's insane. But for waffles, it was actually kind of a joke. Me and the chef, we were just joking around. We said, okay, since we can't have wings on Wednesday, only because of our truck, the delivery doesn't get here until Thursday, so we can't do wing night on Wednesday. Or else, I mean, we could, but you're gonna have some old wings. So it's better to do on Thursday. But for waffles, we joked about it, and then we said, why not? Inexpensive to make or cheap.
Starts with a W.
Yep, starts with a W.
Marketing.
Yep, marketing. And then we thought about, okay, pricing. where are we at? Well, since York is historically cheap, got a lot of penny pinchers. They also like PA Dutch food.
Waffles?
Yes, they decided to go with the PA Dutch style waffles. And we thought, let's just see what happens. No, I posted on Facebook. We almost get a damn near 100 likes. Who would have thought? Chicken and waffles, of all things.
Yeah.
It's $10. You get a good amount of food in it. We're still making good money because
I can't
cheap.
vouch for it because you were out of it.
Well, that goes to show how quickly it goes.
I'm not recommending food for you anymore.
They'll let you know about it too every time.
I'll tell you what, time Cindy and I came down, we had a couple of appetizers, and we brought our main meal home with us. There was so much there.
Oh, yeah.
It was delicious.
Yep. So,
Now you got Waffle Wednesdays.
Waffle Wednesday, and we'll see how long it lasts. Wing night, we can always keep that. That's never going to change unless something happens drastically. But waffle, we expect it's probably going to be overdone at some point. So we'll have to change it to do something else.
Yeah, we don't want to get too predictable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what have you done for me lately? That's what the beer industry, food industry that's what it's
Constantly
all about.
changes. Yep. So yeah, I think the food I've eaten out here, we don't get out a lot, but I try and visit everybody I know. And I've enjoyed every time I've come out here. And it started me coming out here that one night with Bob to try his Belgian quad, which I'm hoping that's on our tasting list. If not, I'm definitely drinking one of them before we fucking
Yeah,
leave
it's
today.
not on the list, but
But
like I said, there's the benefit of having the taps.
yeah, and
on
that's
location.
that's how I got into this, is because of coming out here to Bailey's Home Brew Supplies, and you guys were able to open back up in 20 after a while, and no, it's fantastic. So I definitely recommend anybody that's in the York area. This is one stop you got to make.
Appreciate that.
The beer's always been good.
Always.
Yeah,
Always.
and you've always been very open. Heck, we've even had you at a couple of our beer tasting nights, Tim. What was it? What was the episode? Lagered. I think it was our Lagered Up episode 4, I think, or something like that. I think it was 4.
When we're still in Dad's living room, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was fun. We've graduated a little bit. I'm hoping we got a little better at this.
You guys have gotten a lot better. Definitely doing something right.
Well,
Thank you.
but Tim, you talked about part-time. Is Colton going to be the next person that's going to maybe take over the full-time and remove that assistant brewer?
Everything's on the table. at this
Everything's
point
on the table.
because I'll be 67 this year, and I don't recover as well as I used to. And
None of us do.
So at some point, yeah, I'm looking to slow down and see where it goes. But I have confidence in his capabilities. Absolutely.
Head brewer sounds pretty damn cool, doesn't it, Colton?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think you guys got a great thing going. How much can you brew? What is your system? What are you able to put out in your system?
It's a 3-barrel batch.
3 barrels.
So it's 93 gallons.
Okay.
And we have 4 jacketed fermenters. We have an all-electric brew house. It's a brewmation, automation, and 1 bright tank. So we're little, but we're mighty. We can pump some beer out. We're only really limited by the capability of our walk-in.
Okay.
As far as the amount of kegs we have available and the space we have in the walk-ins.
As far as availability, you said you're only doing growlers, right? There's if you want your beer, you got to come and get it. There's no disbursement, or did you get that far yet with the canning?
Well, we have not done any canning. We did have a preliminary talk about that. We still haven't taken it to the next level. We talked about getting a crowler machine, which would be nice to have, a 32-ounce can. We could have it here available if somebody wanted to take it. It's a lot easier than pouring a growler. Lasts longer. You know how growler. You guys have used growlers.
Yep.
They just don't last as long. But a crowler, you seal it. It's good for a couple weeks. Or longer. Actually.
It's a little quicker to disperse than 64 ounces in a growler.
Yeah. And we do have some. We have some locations where we distribute some of our beer.
Okay.
So you can get our beer other places as well. But
That's good. That's good to know.
we're at Racehorse Tavern, Starview Brews, Mount Wolf VFW, just to name a few. So
that's good. So
a few places.
Yeah, I mean, because they definitely got. If you can't get to York, man, find their beer. That I don't know that I'm gonna need another refill on that one.
I asked first.
You asked first.
Yeah,
Dave, you're the closest to the taps.
that's right.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? If I go off camera, don't worry about it.
as long as the headphone cord reaches.
If the headphone cord reaches, and I'm in good shape. Yeah.
So the Bailey Home Brew Supplies. Tell us a little bit about what's next door to us. I mean, you are you doing classes? I mean, I thought you did classes at one time.
We did do classes at one time with whatever that thing was. Starts with a C. I don't know. We kind of got rid of those for a while because it just wasn't appropriate. But hopefully after the first of the year, we'd like to get some classes started. Wine making, beer making. We have a full grain room. We have everything from 2-row up to 6-row, Maris Otter, all the darker malts, good variety of yeast, equipment kits, pretty much everything you need to make beer, wine, and spirits, mead, anything you need. We have it.
So that's how we got into it, and then the kit, and then you and I have been talking about us going to that next level, and you're going to help us. And was the Brewzilla you said would probably be a good starter for us?
Yeah, those things are so nice because they're self-contained, they're electric. You can mash in there, boil. You have a immersion chiller.
Sounds
It's
like
so easy.
Sounds need to put the bug in my wife's ear for Christmas.
Tim, tell the truth. Some of those phone calls you've been getting is scaring the hell out of you. I think the last time we brewed, we were at the campground drunk as hell.
Whether I want to swipe up or swipe down.
And I think that's been like part of this journey that we've been on. That's been great. I mean, we've made contacts and
Absolutely. And, Colton alluded to it earlier, who's kind of shy. I was the same way. I mean, I always said I was kind of socially awkward. But, being in this business, it forces you to come out of your shell, like he alluded to, and just get to know more people, get to talking to people. And that's the definite benefit of everything. All the hard work is just getting to meet so many nice people, you guys, and being a part of it.
it's the community and
Bonded by beer.
bonded by beer. Yes,
You got it.
We're all bonded by beer, and that's we get bonded sometimes too much with beer. Like last night.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, that was a good time.
Yeah, it was. Colton, so when you said about you and your chef, when you guys do come up with a recipe and you just throw it together, do you remember what you did?
Yes and no. He remembers most of his stuff for brewing. I remember it subconsciously.
Okay.
So I'll do something, but I'll forget it until I brew it again. And I'll be, oh, son of a bitch, I forgot this. And I'll put it in. But I just don't remember it. Most of my stuff is temperature changes. Stuff I don't write down. Probably should. But fermenting at certain temperatures, I just forget about it. And then when I'm brewing it, I remember the last beer I made and oh, let's try this temperature type of thing.
And then once you have it perfected, do you document what you did so you can replicate it again, or are you just throwing it together again and getting lucky?
All of the above.
All
Oh,
of
the above.
Yeah.
I respect the just wing it. Some people we talk to are just documenting every breath they take
Oh,
on the brew day. And
can't-
it's like, I understand it's a science, it's an art, and all the above, but I respect the wing it attitude.
Here's the thing: is the more I've noticed this, the longer I've brewed, I've noticed that the more calculated I become, the less fun it gets. You know, when you want to hit that OG, or you want to hit a certain temperature, or your efficiency, you don't hit it. It's like, oh, shit, like.
What did I
didn't-
do?
Yeah. And so, like before, I didn't care. I was just like, I don't know. Let's just go for it. But then I just started like getting into the full thing. Like, how can I make this beer better? And then you start learning more. But that comes at a cost because you want to hit that thing because you know it's going to make it better. When you don't, stress out about it. So it's stuff like that. But
How do you come up with the recipes? Do you kind of have it in your head and this is what I want to do, or?
So here's how I look at it, and it's what I talked about earlier. It's like I look at it as like food. So certain taste buds, I kind of have a feeling of what it might come out to, but I kind of just look at it like a food point of view. And I also like look up online stuff. Like for instance, I have this Dunkelweizen on right now, and I wanted to make it true to style. So I look up like what makes it true to style, and then I'll put the ingredients together and I'll kind of just wing it. Like I really can't explain it. It just like I'll do it and it just feels right. And so here we go. Like I can't really explain the madness. All I can do is show you. If you just like, walked around and all you gotta do is watch, then you'll see. But I can't. It's hard for me to explain what I do.
You know what? It's working.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, we do utilize Beersmith too to
Okay.
formulate the original recipe, which is basically gives you the amounts of grain, amounts of hops, that type of thing. There's a red zone, yellow zone, green zone as you're adding things. So, but you can wing it by far.
Yeah.
And
And
the one thing that we always we go by, if we don't quite hit our efficiency or our original gravity, if it's a little low, I always say the telltale sign is in the taste. The beer tastes great. If it's a little light on the ABV, it's not that
means
big.
you just drink
it's not
more
that
of
big a
it.
deal. Yeah, you got to drink more of it.
So
But yeah, it's been great.
Tim said you're into the sours.
Mm-hmm.
So explain a little bit about how you get a sour. I mean, what's some of the processes of getting a sour beer? Because that's still new to me. Is like, I know I've heard kettle sours, I've heard infused sours, which I think you've had before, or do you still have them on tap?
We're kind of phasing those out now that we're doing actual production
Sours.
batches of sours. Yeah, and making that shrub, and it was a lot to do that. If you're in a busy night and you run out, then you have to make more. So it's always nicer to have the full capability of the beer, the capacity of the beer.
And then you got the ones with lactose and stuff in it. I kind of enjoy them, like a smoothie. But explain some of the sours and what got you into doing a sour? You just
I've always wanted to do a sour. It's just it's a way that I can really push the boundaries of it, and really show all kinds of creativeness. Because then I can like explore tastes with certain fruits. Know what fruits are going to taste like together. But the whole sour game, I've always wanted to do it, but was too scared, just because of how dangerous it can get. It can affect the whole brewery if you're not careful. But luckily, a yeast strain came out called Sour VCA from Le Mans, and it's all self-contained. You know, it treat it just like a normal beer. It doesn't infect. It's a lot safer. The only downside is it's got a cost to it, but it's really quick. It cranks out in like 6 days.
So the yeast are what makes the beer sour.
Oh yeah.
So when somebody says they got a kettle sour,
They're using Brettanomyces or
Okay.
lactobacillus, which is, as he was alluding to, can get a little funky, you know, and that's this sour VCA is Saccharomyces, but it creates the lactic acid and gives you the sourness just like any of the Brettanomyces or the lactobacillus. So and it doesn't, it kind of temperatures, cleaning temperatures, it kills it, and it's not like something that can promote itself,
Okay.
like a Brett or a lacto.
I think I had the strawberry lemonade one.
Mm-hmm.
I had that one.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That was really good.
Yep.
I thought my wife would like it, and she's like,
Those are some of the biggest words that have ever been said on this show.
"Yeah, I know it was."
I was like, whoa.
They're gonna.
Whoa. Science class.
Yeah. Can we run a glossary at the end of the video?
Absolutely. All right, we on to beer number 2, boys?
I
Beer
think
number
so.
2.
Yeah, that
So
sounds good.
tell us about number 2.
Take it away, Colton.
So this is a red ale that has
Oh, yeah.
licorice root and coriander into it.
Some of my favorite styles right now are the ales.
Yep.
So what's this one called?
So this is Red Dawn. Now, when we first came out with it last February, I did put it in Russian, but it was very poorly timed at the time. I made it before the invasion.
Why is that?
So when I had it, I put it on tap, the invasion started, and it was already in Russian. So at the time before it was invaded, I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool.
Well, it's a play on a great movie that
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
watch to this day, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Wolverines.
So
Great movie.
despite the invasion, it did sell really well. But I did change it. I took off the Russian part. But it does sell really well. Just something I've fiddled with over the past couple years. It's really easy to drink. It turned out I usually like to have beers under 6, but it cranked out to like 6.1, which is still good.
Oh, it's still
yeah,
good.
yeah, but it doesn't taste like it. You know, it's a good winter, fall beer to have. You can even have it in the summertime, really. But it's just a nice, easy red ale. You don't see a lot of red ales. Ambers, yes, not a lot of reds.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that when we talked about it originally, I was like, licorice root, you know. But the coriander and the licorice root and all the maltiness of it, just very subtle. And one of my favorites to sit and have one after work, and definitely is a lot going on,
All right.
as you'll see.
Cheers to the Red Dawn.
Red
Cheers.
Dawn.
Wolverines.
Wolverines.
Oh, wow.
Sweet and malty.
Yes. And it finishes nice with a slight dryness to it. Like an ale's supposed to have some dryness at the end. But that is, you said licorice root?
Licorice root and coriander.
So
Yeah.
what made you turn your, like the licorice root, because it can be overpowering?
Overpowering, exactly. So we kept it subtle, and it comes through, and it's I think perfect level.
And adding a coriander probably help offset that some?
A little bit, yeah,
Yeah, that's, wow.
yeah, because that's a little bit on the spicy side. So licorice it was pretty good. It worked. It definitely worked.
That's real good.
Yeah. Damn, that's two I need a refill on.
We better sign up for those classes.
Better get that Bruzilla and get some of these recipes from Colton
Yeah.
and see if I can wing it and be just as good as him. Not. So, as far as doing any of that, there's some things we have to discuss here. Mr. Ben?
You got it. First up, we have the Hopped Up Network. Shout out to them. It's a independent podcast network that we've joined up with recently. And just have to mention them, give them some love and all the other great shows they have on their platforms. Second up, I would like to give a shout out to Gallo Glass. That's the band that is in our new intro music. Hell yeah. That is the song Scraps, overlaid with some of Dave's great photography. So,
Yeah,
thank you. Shout out to Gallo Glass and our boy Jay. And last but not least is a quick shout out to some of the future guests that we have lined up for the Mix of Six live show that we do
every
Wednesday night at 8. Just before this one came, actually, no, shit. Yeah, you're right. I fucked that part up. Couple days prior to this episode coming out here, we're going to have on Hidden Stories Brewing.
And we're trying to get them in on a sit down as well. So,
yeah, we're going to try to use the live show as a bit of like a feeder program, or if you have a recent event you want to promote, something along those lines. Just like our buddy Glenn Smith, a few weeks after that, he's going to be on with some news. Following that, we have Micho Brewing Company, hopefully coming up. Steve Goebel from the Goebel Group, and Matt and Susan Dunn from Desperate Times in Carlisle.
So
we are booked out a few weeks, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of those folks.
Yes, that's good news. I mean, Ben started this venture, and that's why he hasn't been with us for a couple episodes. He's taken the live and doing that, and we thank him for that.
Having some fun with it.
Yeah, so check that out. And definitely, you gotta be out here and check Stony Run out.
Come see us.
Come see us out here at 3605 East Market Street.
3605 East Market Street. Enter as strangers, leave as friends.
Yep,
There you go.
Hell of an atmosphere.
it is.
Antique vibe. It's a great feeling here.
So, what made you do this kind of theme? Was it just something that that's what your guys' vision was?
We wanted to have like an old world theme because, we do some Belgian beers and kind of walked in the theme of the monks, they're with their community, helping out the community and having a safe place to come and have some food and some beers. So that's where that all came from, just to kind of have the old world vibe.
I think you hit that right on the money. I love the brick back there with the taps, and it's a cool. If you look around, if you get out here, there's beer bottles and beer cans all over the top area. Do you keep adding to that, Tim?
No, I think we have plenty now. Yeah, we might set a few around here and there and change them out from time to time, but yeah, I think we're.
Whose job is it
maxed
to
out.
dust them off all the time?
Well, we turn on the ceiling fans on high,
And let it blow the dust
bring
off.
in the air hose, and just
The leaf blower.
leaf blower.
So, Colton, you're into this brewing, and Tim's your boss, so to speak, and he's guiding you on your journey, just like I'm pretty sure you were guided with your journey, Tim. What makes you want to change some of the recipes or come out with your own? Is it a conglomerate that you went to Tim, say, I want to do this beer, and
Mm-hmm. Yep. I always am trying to do the next thing. I'm not really happy with the thing that I make. I just want to move on. Like, all right, I made the beer. What's the next? And I will like be at home one night, and I'll just think of something. Come to me, and I'll just start chewing at it, and I'll come up with a beer idea. I'll run it by Tim, see if it'll work. But I'm constantly thinking about it. I can't turn it off. So it's definitely, we work together making the beers.
That's good. Tim, so I know the Belgian quad was here when Bob owned this. Was that his, or was that your? Because that's the main reason. That's how I got out here the first time.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was his recipe that he had acquired from someone, and we kind of talked about it. Kind of the same thing. I tweaked it a little bit, and just. But yeah, it was a collaboration again, and that's the nice thing about it is you get ideas. Okay, is this going to work? That going to work? And the barrel aging. We don't do barrel aging. I always say we put the
barrel in the beer.
The barrel in the beer.
Yeah,
we don't
I remember
put the
that.
beer in the barrel.
Yeah.
Because we just don't have the space to do it or the time. Now when you do it that way, sure you get the oak flavor and the bourbon flavor, but some of the nuances of aging, you kind of don't get that. That's why with this latest version of the quad, it's been a year since we took it off last year, so it's been a year. So it's in essence aged in the keg.
So that's one of your seasonals.
Yes, it's a seasonal. So we'll only brew that in the fall, have it available in the fall and the winter.
Damn.
Yeah.
Got to make sure I get out of here.
Yeah,
to
we
get it.
disappoint a lot of people with that. Same with our pumpkin beer. We make that once a year. October 1st, we try to get it on October 1st through October, November, that season, so to speak. And that's it. We don't make it. And that's probably our biggest seller right now. I mean, people.
Oh, the pumpkin's still on?
The pumpkin is still on.
I think I had that one. That one I did have. That's right. That was, you said that now. It just rang my bell what I had. That was one of them I had.
But that's another one that it's a rum barrel pumpkin where we use the oak chips and spiced rum to give it a little flavoring.
And I never thought I'd be drinking pumpkin beer. Just to me, it was just that pumpkin in a beer. I like it in my pie or something like that, but in a beer until I think Emery was on with his. And it's like, you know what? That tastes pretty damn good. So now I come out here. I got your pumpkin ale. I've actually bought some pumpkin beer and stuck in my fridge.
It gets a bad rap.
It does.
By a
You
lot
guys
of
have
people.
a good turnout on that one? Because I feel like...
yeah. Like I
Man,
said,
as
people,
soon as-
because we do it once a year,
Yeah.
there are people asking on social media, okay, when's the pumpkin coming out?
Felt like August 1st this year, Oktoberfest and pumpkins just were being pushed. And it's
We October
like-
1st at no sooner, and then usually by
right on
the
time.
end of November, beginning of December, it's over, and that's it till next year.
So we found out Colton's journey, Tim. We probably talked about this when we had you on before. What got you to this point? When you started home brewing out of your garage, what got you to this level?
Originally, I would get all my supplies from Bailey's. That's when Bob owned it. And
So you were a customer too?
I was a customer of Bailey's. And at the time, Bob was looking to get people involved in his vision for Stony Run, which it wasn't Stony Run then. It was just a brew pub at that time. It didn't have a name or anything. The first several times he approached me about it, I actually turned him down because I was in my 60s. I was 60 and like, I'm going to be retiring soon. I'm not going to be starting a business at this age.
It's going to require
to
more
start
work.
slowing down, right? So several times I told him no. And then just in passing with family meetings with my son and daughter-in-law, my wife and daughter and the whole family, they were kind of like, well, why not? We'll get involved, we'll help out, and so that's kind of what happened. I approached Bob, and it's like, yeah, I think we're in. So that was back in 2015. We talked about it.
Now, you say you were retiring. Did you have a full-time job at that?
I had a full-time job at that point.
And you're retired from that now?
Well, yes.
Okay.
In essence. But I was planning on staying on there, then just doing the brewing, but it never would have worked. It's definitely a full-time job with brewing. And
Well, I
everything,
think
so
you made the right choice, Tim.
Absolutely.
I'm happy. Yeah.
That's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, they say
Hey, does it pay
things
your
happen
bills?
for a reason,
Yeah.
and here we are. So
Yeah.
I said before, as a human being, I've grown from this whole experience. So it's been meeting people. Here we are talking about it. It's been a blast. I can't deny it.
The journey is always what makes it fun,
Actually.
and it's how you take that journey. And I think what we're finding with everybody's story, and you've said this several times, Kevin, everybody's story to where they got to where they're at is different.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it unique.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the craft beer industry, every beer is different from one, just the few here in York. You might have a similar style, but it's going to be different. It's what's making it unique. And that's why I know I'm enjoying this journey. And we go out anywhere. I'm doing a flight. I want to try as many beers as I can.
Yeah.
Right. Just like a chef, you have a food recipe. You could give 10 chefs the same recipe, and they're going to put their own flair on it, their own little twist,
Yep.
so to speak, and you're going to get 10 different dishes from one recipe. So it's the same way with beer.
And I think that's kind of what Dave wants to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, funny you said.
Well, you talk about it because Colton asked me about it when I was in here the other week.
No, we're still working on it.
Still want to work on the details.
And we have some other details, and we have some great ideas from other brewers that had said, "Hey, try this, or do this, or put this in, or try this." So we're trying to get it all formulated into one plan so that we can just present it and make it work. But what we want to do is we want to get several brewers together and have them brew one recipe, and then we're going to do a blind taste test.
To see it, everybody. I think so. We're still working that out. And Colton, I know he asked me about it, and we definitely want you involved.
Right.
And I think Jason Snyder wants in on it. Emery.
Yeah.
So after the first year, we're going to sit down maybe with you guys and come up with an idea of how we can do it, because I think it would make great content
Right.
for an episode for a Brewers Roundtable. And you guys we'll just sit here and moderate and let you guys just talk.
Yeah, primarily the idea was to have the brewers get together at a somewhat like our beer tasting that we do individually. We used to do it for a while and just sit around and BS. We want them to BS about their job, about, oh yeah, I remember this, or I remember when the still blew up, and that kind of conversation is what we want to hear. The war stories, not horror stories, the war stories, and that's going to be great. Yeah. And plus the fact that we want to interject this blind taste test of a beer that is done, the same recipe done by 7 or 8 different brewers, and just see who likes what and who doesn't like what. And we're not going to put any names on it or anything, but just see what happens. But that's
quite an interesting concept.
Yeah.
And like we just said, everything could be different. So you might have the same recipe like Colton, you just wing it. And probably other brewers are doing the same thing. I don't know.
Well, look at the beer styles over the years.
Yeah.
Who would have thought hazy IPA with that much hop forward? That goes against the grain. The old German Reinheitsgebot or whatever, that it's only certain things go in, and it's kind of an ebb and flow. What's the next big thing? Like Colton alludes to. He wants to keep trying
keep pushing the envelope. Now,
Yeah.
Kev, you were just in Germany.
Yeah.
They don't have all the styles that it's their traditional.
Well, that's the Reinheitsgebot, which
Yeah.
I'm referring to is, it's water, hops, grain, yeast. That's it. It's no other additives.
Yes.
That's taboo in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, of course, we Americans always push the envelope on everything.
Yeah.
But that's what makes our country great.
Now, the only problem with that is the fact that, you go from one tap at one location down to another tap at another location, and you're primarily drinking the same thing. And, you don't get this opportunity to go in and say, oh, let's see what this house has and taste some of the stuff that their brewers have come up with and taste it here. And then go down the next week and go to another one and go to another one. You get different flavors and different tastes. But if everybody is working from the same playbook, and everything is going to taste the same, everything is going to, it's just going to be like a repeat. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was when I was in Amsterdam. I asked the guy, he said, I got 2 taps, Amstel and Heineken. He said, you know what the difference is? I'm like, no. He says, where we get the water. Amstel's from Amsterdam and Heineken is the rest of Holland. That's it. That was the difference.
Interesting.
And there was a different flavor to it.
Yeah.
Colton, you had some stuff you wanted to talk about. Bring it up. Let her fly, baby.
So
This is about you two, not about us four.
I'll talk about. You like the quad, huh?
Oh, I love that quad. Uh-oh. That looks a little dangerous.
So we originally had it on all year round. And then we decided to do it once a year. It takes a lot, not a lot like the pumpkin does. That thing. just the amount of pumpkin that goes into it. It takes everything we have. It's a long day. But that quad, it's 2 months. It takes 2 months. So fermenter 2 months. But the whole idea of it is if we make it once a year, people want what they can't have.
That's exactly right.
So,
don't say every other year. I'll be fucking pissed.
I would love to. I'd love to just to build up more hype. But it makes people mad that they can't have it, and it's on tap. Man. Rush to it and get it. It moves quicker. Things keep moving. Like the quad that we have on now, that's a 1 year aged. It's almost gone. I tell people that, and then.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone. And it won't be coming back until next year.
You got enough to fill a growler?
Oh, yeah. Drink it up.
Better hop on it now, he says.
Yeah, I know that. But yeah, it's and I think somebody else said about pumpkin takes so much to make because of what you have to do to put.
We put the pumpkin in the mash.
Yeah.
So it really makes the mash sticky. I mean, we use rice hulls and all kinds of stuff to try to permeate the water through the grain bed, but it gets sticky, and it's just a slow process of transferring from the mash tun to the boil kettle. So that extends the brew day probably 2 to 3 hours, just transferring the mash to the boil kettle. It's a long day, but it seems. And again, just my experience, it seems like the beers that take the longest day are probably some of the better beers. Helen's happy that we do. That tends to be a little bit, we have oats in that gets sticky sometimes, but those beers, for whatever reason, seem to be the top beers that are really popular.
And on a brew day, so when you come in, you're doing a brew. You're only doing 1 beer a day? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's a long day, usually about 8 hours
Okay.
for a brew day.
And then so let's just say tomorrow's a brew day. Come in, you do one as Tuesday a brew day. How many beers do you guys brew in a week?
Well, we could if we do yeast starters like 2 days ahead of time. So if we planned for it, if we had empty fermenters, we could brew. We have 4 fermenters, so we could brew. If we had 4 empty fermenters, technically we could brew 4 days in a row. And then obviously we couldn't brew anymore because we have no place to put it. But once the fermentation's done, we start transferring things over to the bright tank, getting them kegged. We could keep that process going. But as I said before, we're limited with our walk-in and the amount of kegs we have. So we just try to get a nice flow to it. Kegs empty, we fill them, clean them, fill them. So it's
And I see. I mean, you guys got quite a bit of taps.
16 taps.
16 taps out of here. That's 16 different beers products that you guys are constantly developing, and some rotational stuff. What are some of your flagships?
Hop Frog.
Hop Frog?
Yep. It outsells everything. It outsells the burgers.
Rocky Ridge,
Okay.
the Slow and Easy. But again, that's something we've kept on all the time, but we're thinking about maybe moving that to a seasonal thing where
Is that Talus Blonde going to be?
that's probably going to end up being a flagship. As good as the results we're getting with that, that's selling really quick.
And that's what makes your mind up if it sells a lot,
Mhm.
that you're going to make.
Yeah, our customers dictate that.
Right.
So you've alluded to the quad and the pumpkin. What are your upcoming seasonals, maybe throughout to spring, let's say, from now until spring?
We have 4 new beers. I'll let Colton talk about those. Several of his recipes in here, but we do have 4 new beers we're going to be introducing this fall, winter.
Guess we'll have to keep an eye out and make a trip back out here.
You got it.
The first one we're going to do is it's a hazy. It's a New England IPA, and I want to give a shout out to Gems Farms. They provided the hops, the triple pearl hops for that beer. They're local. They're in Carlisle.
Yep.
So
They were one of our guests on our show too.
So you guys are familiar with them.
Yep.
So I definitely
Yep.
want to give
Good
them a
people.
shout out. Absolutely.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
were
So-
Michael and Sharon
Yeah.
and their daughter.
I was going to say they brought the. Yeah.
We threw the daughter on the last segment. She was all bashful too. So
Yeah, the other ones that are coming up are Colton's recipes. I think you have another sour.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
want to talk about those?
Yep. So, what I got coming up, it's going to be made tomorrow. It's a Schwartz beer or dark lager, whatever you
I
want.
like Schwartz beers.
So, but I made the recipe a long time ago. I tweaked it. I forget why I made it. I forget how I made it.
I love that.
I really just, I don't.
And he doesn't even drink that much.
Yeah. And that's another thing is like, so if someone's like watching this podcast, they're noticing I'm not drinking. So, I have all kinds of I got Crohn's and stuff. So drinking's not the best.
Right.
I'll actually want to hear a horror story is if I drink a dark beer, full 16 ounce, I'll upchuck it in the middle of the night. My body can't regulate it. It's I literally will.
Colton, I do that all the time.
Yeah, but it's for different reasons.
Different reasons. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're having multiple.
It's the room spinning.
Yeah, and he doesn't always wait till the middle of the night. Sometimes it's on the ride home.
So
Man.
I'm a brewer who can't really drink.
And that's all right.
So I got Crohn's. It's just bad breeding, just stuff like that.
That makes the wing it attitude even more interesting because
Yeah.
it's you can't even get a full
No, I rely on
taste test.
other people's tastes.
There you go. Okay.
But no, I can't drink it. But anyways, so this dark lager we have coming up, I don't know when I made the recipe. I don't know how I made it, but I didn't have a name for it, but I finally came up with a name. Intrusive Thoughts. Yeah. So I named it after actually one of our servers. Her name's Natalie. She'll come in one day and be like, I hope someone doesn't run into the building. Those types of intrusive thoughts. And she'll just say them out loud. And I'm like, you can't be saying that to people.
Speaking
Words
into
are powerful.
existence.
Yeah.
Words are powerful for sure.
Or it's just stuff like that. And I joked I was going to name a beer, and I finally came up with a name. I thought it's a pretty cool name.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think since you got a fine arts
Yeah.
background,
Yep.
even though you're not canning and labeling, I think you got to come up with some artwork for some of your beers and maybe just put it around.
Yeah.
I mean, that would utilize your other skill.
Yeah. It's definitely passed my mind, but it's a long process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that we have 4 little pictures of hops
Yep.
behind you guys.
Yeah.
That Colton did those. That was again when we were first opening. He did those 4.
So, are you married, Colton? What's your? Not yet.
Hell
Not
no.
yet.
Hell no. I'm 25. You
Well, I
know?
was married by 25. I already had 2
It's
kids.
just not not my thing right now.
I get it.
As much as I want to. Nope. I live with my parents, saving money.
That's there you go.
You know.
That's the right move.
I just when it happens, it happens.
That's about right. Don't rush into it.
Yep.
Don't rush into
Know
it.
when it's right.
Yep, you do.
I wasn't married until I was 27, so don't worry about
It took me 2 times to get it right. So
it. See? There you go.
Dang.
I mean, I already had my whole wedding planned out, actually.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
A guy has their wedding planned out.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
that's interesting.
So, all right. So, the whole idea is if I'm going to get married, I'm going to do it right. But it's, how, World War I was always, the Great War, the war that end all wars. Well, it'd be, my wedding, the wedding to end all weddings. I will go all out. There's, the money is not an object. It's my
Ladies,
wedding.
if you're listening, we have an eligible bachelor
So-
for you.
The whole idea is I want to have a wedding where people go to and be like, man, I can't believe he pulled this off. My wedding's kind of just, they're embarrassed about it. It's meant to be this all out wedding. I have it, it's all gold and it's going to be about me. I'm walking down the aisle, bitch. That's what we're doing.
All right, ladies, maybe rethink that.
So, but
I want to see him in a gown.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But it's just one of those things where I want it to be really crazy. I thought about this just for fun.
You're not going to just wing it?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
Yeah, walking down the aisle to Backstreet Boys,
There you
all
go.
gold. I thought about putting her in a big Victorian dress. She
My
can't-
God. He does it. He's putting a lot of thought. Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive
Yep.
thoughts. I think some of those are coming out.
Big top hat.
What'd you tell me earlier, Tim? Don't poke it too much. I think we poked it too much. We got Colton open up here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So sports. Any you guys do sports?
Yep, I swam all 17 years.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Because you guys are the sports guys. I'm baseball. But football's in now. That's you guys could sit here and talk football if anybody was into football. I know you golf.
I golf, yes.
That's something you guys got in
So
common.
you got a tea time for this week or something?
Well, we're trying to. I mean, 50, 55, that's golfing
That's
weather.
golfing weather.
As long as the sun's out, it's not raining, and
Yep.
the wind's not
The
blowing
damn
too
wind,
hard.
yeah, that'll
Yeah.
get you.
Is that why you always go to South Carolina a lot? That's your golfing weekend?
Well, I do take my clubs along. My son lives down there now.
Okay.
You were talking about the family thing.
Yeah.
After he said, yes, let's get involved, Dad. He goes on vacation to South Carolina,
stays there.
Charlotte, or Charleston, and he basically said, Dad, I'm moving down there.
I was going to ask you how
Here
many
we
of them
are,
are still
yeah.
involved
Oh,
with
what's
it.
the
Yeah.
name of that one I played? I was just down there in August. I played Stono Ferry. Is that right?
Stony Ferry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. A lot of nice courses down
I'll drive the cart. I'll drink the beer. Don't ask me to play golf. One thing I can't do. So that's,
One thing about drinking the beer with golf, if you ever tried it, was night golf. If you ever done any night golf,
Absolutely.
yeah,
there. I have.
Yeah, that's what you.
We
that's
did night golf before it was without the glow ball.
without the
Right.
glow balls and,
Yeah, 'cause
and the sticks on the flags.
we would put money down, and the guy that played the longest and didn't lose his ball
Yeah.
got the money. But you kind of get a feel for. I think that went this way.
Yeah.
We knew the course. We knew
Right.
which holes we were playing, so
Right.
you
Right.
kind of know how you hit, and you kind of
Yep.
walk out there and
And do some degenerate gambling while you're
yeah,
at it.
yeah, absolutely. It was a lot
Hell
of fun.
yeah.
There
Sounds
there
good.
was no beer involved.
No beer.
No
No
beer.
no beer involved at all.
Wow.
I say
Wow.
let's get a beer involved now.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, great idea.
let's get one in here. All right. So what is our number 3?
So this is an oatmeal stout. Now, I named it after the chef. So his last name's Mull, like Mull.
Okay.
And I decided to name it Mull and Oats.
Like Hall and Oates.
Mull and
Yep,
Oats.
yep.
Mull and Oats.
So I named it after him because he can use it in all variety of food. But technically, it is his beer. He can use it in stout. He can use it in stews, dark meats, all that.
So when you said you braised the pork in your beer, is this the one you're putting it in?
No. We've
was
actually
That
used
was
that. That was the rail trail.
the rail trail.
Yeah,
trail.
we've actually used that in Irish stew. So like for St. Patty's Day, it actually came out. I want to say right before St. Patty's Day when I first made it, and we used that in the stew, and it turned out awesome.
Sounds like we're going to have to come out here for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely has a roasty, almost a smoky characteristic to it.
Easy to drink, 5.5. Well, this batch is actually 5.2, but it's real easy to drink. Like, it's just one of those stouts where, typical stouts, you're seeing that over 6, some of them. I wanted something super easy to drink, you can have all year round.
So this is going to be an all year round. This isn't a seasonal one.
It sells very well. So we don't know. It might just be like fall through spring, but it's so easy to drink. Just don't know yet.
Cheers. All in oats.
All in oats.
Yeah, I'm getting that roastiness out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely get the roastiness out.
It's not real heavy either.
No, it's
Yeah.
overbearing. It's good.
You said, Colton, it's an easy drinker.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you call it it's an oatmeal stout. Does doing it with oats help make it a little bit smoother or creamier?
Thicker.
Mouthfeel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you said that there are also oats can come be cumbersome sometimes in the mash.
Yeah, they can get a little sticky if you
Okay.
use too many.
Like that. Ben, what do you think? Because you're more of the IPA guy.
No, I'm coming on to a lot of different styles here. And this one, I mean, pretty much everything you guys have touched on. Awesome roasty, dry finish, and then always had this misconception that dark beers are going to be heavy, and this is easy, smooth drinker.
A lot of people look at us with those stouts like that's like motor oil, but it's not. I mean, ABV wise, it's not unless you barrel age it. Barrel aging brings out a whole different characteristic and a higher ABV.
It's the shit that makes me quiver.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, guys, this episode will be out right after Thanksgiving. So we're approaching, holiday season, as we call it. We got any big plans coming up for the end of the year?
Well, we have a Toys for Tots drive that we do with the Marine Reserve every year. So that's going to be a big thing. So if come out, bring a unwrapped toy. We have a deposit box in the lobby.
Awesome.
Bring it out and support Toys for Tots.
All right. Any personal plans? Going to South Carolina again?
I'd like to try to get to South Carolina over the holidays to see the family, take the golf club. So, yeah.
Colton, what about you?
No plans.
No plans?
The only thing I might do is try to go skiing here soon. This wonderful weather.
Ski season's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming up.
Yep.
Actually, it's here in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get to the resort. Right?
That shit is nuts.
You imagine that? Well, how much did they get?
66 inches.
Yeah.
66 inches.
Yeah. That's why the game.
That's like, what, 5.5 feet?
A little over
My
five.
wife would be
Yeah.
hitting.
That's why they moved the game up to Detroit. Yeah. They couldn't play it in Buffalo.
Wow, that's a lot of snow.
They weren't even sure if they're going to be able to make it out because of the airports and the runways and stuff. But
They can keep it. I'm not ready for that.
Absolutely.
I used to ski. I loved it. Love skiing. Just got to be time consuming and expensive.
Expensive up first, too, right?
It is expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, I paid $500 for a pass.
Yeah.
For
What?
a round top.
Well,
Was it the Three Mountains or
no, see, they got bought out by the company.
Vale or was it Vale?
It was Vail, but now it's Epic.
Oh,
so
geez.
Epic bought out Vail. So it's the whole East Coast that I get.
Oh, that's not-
Yeah,
that's
so
a
it's
okay.
worth it. And
All
you
right,
get
I-
20% off lodging and stuff.
Oh, that's
Wow.
pretty cool.
I just haven't had the chance to go to other resorts.
Yeah.
The one I want to go up to, New York, it's like Hunter Mountain.
Mhm.
It's 2 mountains, I guess. But it takes you 2 days to ski the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because 5 minutes and you can be down round top.
Yeah,
I enjoyed skiing here, but it's not skiing. We ski on ice. Now, do you ski or snowboard?
both.
Both.
Yeah, but I rather ski. I broke my arm like when I was 6th grade trying to snowboard, and ever since then I was very hesitant
Sure.
about it. But no, skiing is just like, if I want a real workout, I'll snowboard. It takes it out of me. But skiing, I just cruise down with music, headphones in. But I can't like do that as quick anymore. As I get older, the more worrisome I get fast.
25.
Wait till he gets to 50, 60. Gonna say Ben can relate to the
Don't let
older.
these guys guilt you. I understand what you're going through. Some things creep up, man. I tried to get on the fucking tilt-a-whirl last year, man. I thought I was gonna puke. First time it ever happened to me, man. Get the spins on a ride, and like, oh, got to take her slow.
No. You won't even see me on them rides because I will puke, and I don't even need beer to puke with that. All right, Dave. Anything else you want to add?
No, he just shocked me with that $500 lift ticket. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's until you explained it, but no, it's been pleasurable, and what I want to do is I want to do some vanity art of the bottles of that, of course, because we talked about this. So I want to get a vanity shot of those, and I want to get the area up there. So if Brett and I get together, we'll try to get those overlaid into.
Oh yeah,
the video.
I'll pop some in. Yeah.
And I need to ask, what this is?
Oh,
The ironwork here?
Yes,
death traps.
death traps. Okay, I'm glad I've stayed away.
That's
from
what
That's
that.
for those.
That's what it uses on the customers
That's
that
what I
he
was
was
getting ready
talking
to
about
say.
earlier.
That minute amount of customers. That's Colton's wield.
So they're flight holders,
Oh, okay.
but they're handmade, but they've warped over time. So some of them like hold them perfectly, and the others hold them like this, so they're dangling, and the other ones hold them like that, and so you're carrying them.
Interesting.
And then when you go to sit them down, you don't know if they're going to go down or not. They could.
You need to adjust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, general manager.
Yeah, come
That's your
on.
job.
Do I look strong enough to?
You put them in the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bend over. Bam.
Or grappling hook. They
Yeah.
work good.
Yeah.
Grappling hook.
That's what they look like. Grappling hooks.
Now I think what you had mentioned that before they were all handmade. A long time ago, we had talked about them. Kevin,
Yes, sir.
anything you?
No, I always enjoy coming here. Everything is good. Great people, great food, everything.
All right, Ben.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. It's been a great time here, and at Central PA Pour on all social media, wherever you get your podcasts. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in.
I got one last thing. When we had talked before, earlier this year, you were in the midst of doing an addition to this,
Yes.
and that was completed. What in the
That-
spring?
That was completed in the early part of 2022.
Okay.
So it was January, February, the construction started, and say by the end of February, it was completed. We picked up 24 more seats.
Lost some of the home brew supplies area.
Lost some of the home brew supply area, but we actually absorbed all the product that was on those shelves into the existing home brew shop now. So we really didn't miss a beat. We just picked up more seats. That's obviously, we were turning people away, and now we can fill it up.
And
so we have 24 more seats.
Come out here for Trivia Tuesday, Waffle Wednesday, Wing Thursday, and maybe there'll be some for Friday, and maybe we'll get a ribeye Saturday. I don't know. Gentlemen, this has been fun. I'm glad, Tim, we got to do this at your place this time.
Yeah, me
Yes.
Me too.
It's been fun.
In Colton, it's been great.
Yep.
I mean, wing it. Keep winging it, buddy. Keep winging it because you're doing something good. Pretty sure Tim has plenty of confidence in you and your abilities. And maybe someday you'll be add that head brewer to it as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm ready to slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. Drink some more beer, play some more golf.
Head brewer, general manager sounds pretty fucking cool. Look at him smiling. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes it.
So, one last time, where can they find you guys at? Even though I have it on here, but you guys on the social media. What social media platforms are you on?
Facebook, the Insta. It's just Stony Run Brewhouse. Those are pretty much the two. Find us. Our website, StonyRunBrewhouse.com. But those are two things. We're mostly active on Facebook.
Do you do all that? Are you in charge of that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Well, we appreciate it. What is going to be our final beer?
So it's going to be a fruited sour. It's acidulous intent raspberry punch. It's the raspberry punch, like a punch, like a fruit punch. So it has like a double meaning, where it's got fruit punch, but it also hits you.
It's sour.
Yeah,
It's tart.
with a flavor. It's like on our sour side. So I did bump up the sourness on this one.
Good. So again, we thank you guys for having us here.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And we hope to do more of this. And if you're out there, make sure you come out here and visit Stony Run. Whenever you get to York, come out here and see them. If you're into brewing, get to Bailey's Home Brew Supplies. And
We
we're
can definitely hook you up.
making wine, mead, whatever. Come out and see Tim. Colton, are you part of that over there as well? Nope. Just Tim?
He fills in from time to time. He backs me up.
I'm pretty sure if you
We
got
wear a lot
question-
of hats around here.
Yeah, it's what happens when you got your own business. But if you're out there, raise a glass here with Tim and Colton from Stony Run Brewhouse and all of us here at the CPP. And let's all be bonded
Bonded
by
by
beer.
beer.
Cheers.